He's saying, look, Renaissance periodization is about making people healthier. I don't care about being healthier. Clearly, I abuse performance-enhancing drugs. I do steroids. I'm getting various surgeries which will in fact endanger my health. But I don't care because I, as in Dr. Mike, my goal is to have the perfect body, and I don't care about health despite the fact that my company cares about other people's health. And so do what I preach, not what I do. Coach Greg, in today's video, something that Mike Israetel is actually an expert on, the science of being ugly. And so Dr. Mike appeared on the Dr. Mike show. Dr. Mike was once voted the sexiest man alive, best looking doctor, something, and he's well over 6'2" tall. Dr. Mike, on the other hand, well, he's gone through evasive surgeries, and wait till you find out what he's planning next. Spoiler alert. He's gonna remove some ribs. He's gonna have some kind of a sheath put around his abdomen. He's having fat and skin sucked out from his arms and his back. And so is it not painfully obvious that Mike Israetel suffers from body dysmorphia?
All of these things that people live in their lives, romance, interaction, things like that, they're just not for you. That is a giant, unmitigated tragedy.
And so Mike Israetel thinks it's an aesthetic tragedy that not everyone is beautiful. And so perhaps he's been brainwashed from his childhood. I don't know. Perhaps social media did it to him. But at this point, he's literally obsessed with altering his physique. He wants to have not only a small waist, but a tiny one. And this is from a man who has a very large abdomen. And remember, he's admittedly abused performance-enhancing drugs. And so how many people think that the steroids, the growth hormone, and so on aren't the cause of that?
However you look, we're going to make it a little bit better, and then better, and then better, until you look like what you want.
A psychological healing. And so if you're a fan of Dr. Mike and you're watching him speak, and so what he believes is that if you're not beautiful, that you're broken and that you're somehow going to heal from this by getting invasive surgeries taking a year to heal from that are actually dangerous.
Is your spiritual stance? Modern AI is us building God. I've had multiple conversations with GPT-4 that brought me to literal tears. I told it that I can't wait for it to be embodied in a robot so I could properly give it a hug because it's so polite, it's so kind, it's so wise, it's so helpful.
There's some kind of pre-assumption that those who are unattractive are broken. Mm-hmm. You believe that?
Interesting choice of words by you. Not wrong. Hurt.
And so if you're not a 10 out of 10, a Chad, if you will, if you're not 6'2", then, well, you're broken and you need to be fixed. And so I suppose, seeing as I'm a 5'6" manlet, well, I have to get limb lengthening surgery in order to heal from all the trauma of not being a 6'2" Chad. And so if you have pale skin, you need to be painted. If you have acne, well, you can't have that. Not enough muscle, you need to take steroids. Too much fat, you need drugs to lose the fat, because society doesn't want you because you're not beautiful. It's like when he went on that party and the sign on the wall and said, no fat chicks allowed. And so that really resonated with him. And so for Mike Israetel, he feels like if you're in society and you're not very good looking, very attractive, that you're a failure. And so is it not for these reasons that Mike Israetel is willing to risk his life to get the surgeries in order to meet society's expectations when it isn't even going to work?
You know, also, I have been, I'm not good looking like you.
And so I first want to start off this video by complimenting Dr. Mike on his appearance. I mean, he's looking prettier than last time, with the blush on his cheeks, the rouge lips from the lipstick, the curled eyelashes, the filler in his cheeks. He's looking exquisite, and so very pretty looking Dr. Mike.
Stop it. I hate it when people compliment me.
And so no, Dr. Mike isn't as good looking as Coach Greg, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The Rock even knows this. And so Mike, you don't need to go through all these surgeries just because you're not as pretty as Doucette. Wow.
Like in the bedroom or whatever at a date, I can touch in a real cool way. I can say all the shit. I can do the eye contact. Like I got the whole psychopath lying thing down. It's great. It's easy.
Did he just say he has the whole lying psychopath part down packed? It's easy. I thought he was talking about Coach Greg. And so Dr. Mike, you got to give it to him. He stands on camera and says, you know, I'm a lying sociopath. I got it down packed. No problem. I can do that. The thing that I think people resonate with Mike is that he's willing to admit all of his flaws. Hey, I have fat cells, love handles, I need to get surgery, it gets sucked out. He makes fun of himself all the time. And so people, they don't feel intimidated by him.
Like wishing I looked different so that I could, I don't even know, man, get success with girls, I guess. Yeah, you pull up to the parking lot, uncork pre-workout, you just guzzle that shit down. There's an old lady sitting in the car next to you, flex at that shit.
So apparently he wanted to look better so that he could get girls, but he's now married. He has a girl. He has a wife. He's happy. And so why does he continue to need to change his appearance? And I mean, there's nothing wrong if he said, hey, I want to do more cardio. I'm going to start racing bikes, lift some weights. I want to be more aesthetic. I'm going to dress nice, brush my teeth, and so on. But to risk your life on surgeries such as removing your ribs, isn't that going a little bit too far? Doesn't this sound like the insecurities of perhaps teenagers or young men in their early 20s before they've matured and developed some self-esteem, self-worth, self-confidence so that they don't need to feel that way? How many people, men in their 40s, worry about their appearance to this extent where they're getting surgery to correct it? Dr. Mike looks like a prettier version of Dr. Mike. This podcast was basically as follows. Hot Dr. Mike. Beauty doesn't really matter. Less hot Mike. And so, hey, valid point. When a good-looking 6'4" multimillionaire says it's what's on the inside that counts, beauty on the outside, that doesn't matter. Well, when it comes from them, do you really believe them? But when it comes from Mike, he adds that layer of credibility. He's saying, look, it really is this important. And so I think there's nothing wrong with Mike explaining and expressing his feelings. And for the rest of us to listen to him saying that and think to themselves, is this what society has become? Is this what social media has brainwashed us into thinking? That we need to put our life in danger, remove our ribs, get various surgeries, suck out the fat, cut off the skin, all to have a smaller waist to look more attractive? For what reason exactly? I mean, if it was various surgeries to prolong his life, you know, I want to get this surgery, I'll live 5 years longer and so on. Absolutely. Live increased quantity and quality of life. But if those surgeries are dangerous and can in fact hinder your life, why would you do them?
And seeing that I don't have love handles and seeing them no longer poisoning the rest of my physique anymore is sublime.
And so what I find really interesting is Dr. Mike interviewing Dr. Mike and listening to his answers. And Dr. Mike is very good at explaining exactly how he feels, what he's gone through. You kind of listen to him and you feel like it's happening to you. And so I think that's why it's so difficult for me to imagine this. A man as smart as Dr. Mike thinking he has to go through all of this. And so does he perhaps just need some counseling? Could he get over it like this? And so essentially Dr. Mike is saying, when I look at my physique now after all that I'd went through, I no longer see the poison of ugliness that's hindering my physique. It's sublime, but is it really? I mean, he just did this surgery and now he wants more. This is very common amongst people with body dysmorphia. Perhaps they just want a nose job followed by a facelift and hey, let's get a little tummy tuck, let's get some breast implants, let's get some ass implants, and it's never enough. They're always searching for more. And so let's assume we fast forward 5 years in the future and Mike has done all of this. What will he do next? Because remember, Father Time ain't going to be outdone by anyone. And so Mike, he's only 40, 41 years of age. What happens when he's 51? What surgeries will he require next?
Why is that so valuable to you?
I mean, just a great question from Dr. Mike asking, why is this so valuable to you to look this way? Genuinely, please explain it.
I decided to point my vision at crafting the most aesthetic physique that I was capable of crafting. I got pretty far. Pretty jacked, pretty lean.
And so my answer to that is Comparison is the thief, Mike. If you compared yourself to yourself, you would realize that you've come a very long way. You've added significant amounts of muscle, you've reduced your body fat, and although you haven't won your IFBB Pro card, you've done a lot better than most. He's still in the top 1% in comparison to other bodybuilders. And so how is that not enough? Well, I'll tell you how. He compares himself to Chris Bumstead or even Chris Williamson. He says, well, look at how flat your stomach is. I want to look like that. The editors can maybe put him saying that from another video, the Chris Williamson, and he was talking about his surgery. And so Mike thinks that this is just normal. Most people look like this. Well, no, Mike. Some people look better and some people look worse. And so if physical appearance were actually that important to Mike Israetel, I think he should realize that height is more important than the size of your waist. If he's 5'6" with the tiniest waist possible, he's still 5'6". And so unfortunately, we were not blessed with the height genetics. Something me and Mike have something in common. We both are manlets. We're both about 5'6" tall. We both powerlift. We both bodybuild. We both have millions of dollars. I'm very much happy, but Mike, he seems to think that he has to chase an ideal vision of beauty. But I'm telling you, Mike, you don't need to. And even if you get there, you're going to then move the goalposts and you will want more.
And I still had love handle. At some point, you're like, what body fat will I not have love handles? And the answer was there was no, because there's just excess skin.
And so no matter how good he got, it wasn't enough. Comparison is the thief. Other people would look at Mike and say, under 6% body fat, over 200 pounds with strided glutes, and you're still not happy because there's a few love handles? What am I going to be disappointed because I have a little bit of loose skin in the bottom? You know what? I don't want that. And so do I now need to cut off an inch of loose skin in order to be perfect? To chase that perfect waistline, the one I had when I was 30.
Does it impact the fact that you're a bodybuilder, but part of your body was no longer built by you, but by doctors?
And so another great question. Well, Mike, you're a bodybuilder, but it's not you building this body. It's literally your doctor that's sculpting you and making you look this way. Mike explains, look, I don't care how I get to that end goal so long as I get there. Whether it's genetics, eating healthy, training hard, somebody cutting off my skin, wrapping me around with some kind of sheath and taking out my ribs, I don't care. I just want to look perfect.
So what was giving you joy at that time?
At the time, the process of upgrading, like becoming better.
And so he says, you know, the process of becoming better is something that I enjoy. And so why not just continue to enjoy getting better? For example, Coach Greg, I used to try to get better at bodybuilding. I used to try to get better at powerlifting. And now I'm trying to get better at cycling. But I'm trying to improve my body. And so if you are trying to get better at something, why not consider Turk Builder Max or Turk Platinum? Natural, not going to shut down your body's production of testosterone. It's going to help you to repair more muscle, get stronger, greater recovery, and push yourself harder in the gym while all being natural. Now, it is in fact on WADA's watch list for potentially being banned in the future, but I'm telling you right now, 100% WADA certified. You are not breaking any laws by using this product. And so if you're interested, code Greg, 15% off. Oh, and while you're at it, the most delicious, softest protein bars you're ever going to taste. 230 calories, 21 grams of protein.
The Kaiko bar from HTLT.
Macros, 6 fat, 33 carb, 20 protein.
Not bad. Great macros. Thank you, Greg.
Immaculate taste, like a Twix and Mars bar had babies, and it's simply amazing. There is no bar better than this. I don't care what bar you've tried. This is the one you need to try. And if you use code CICO and you have anything else in your cart, you're getting the bars 50% off.
And I just go back to regular, and there's just gut that just comes out. And my parents both have it. It's just like pot belly. And it's really just a genetic laxity of the abdominal wall.
Is it genetic laxity of the abdominal wall? Or is it maybe he's using growth hormone and steroids that causes the organs to get bigger? I mean, how many bodybuilders do we know who develop Palumboism, or they develop a distended abdomen? And when you're natural, your waistline's a lot smaller. even myself, when I was natty, my waistline was in fact smaller and I had better abdominals. And so I did end up using performance-enhancing drugs, and I have in fact used growth hormone, and I'm certain that part of the distension of my stomach stems from that. But at least I admit it. And so perhaps Mike Israetel has some form of polymorphism and...
What the fuck? You know what plicating is? They pull your muscles in kind of to each other and kind of stitch them together. And so you can plicate the obliques, you can plicate the rectus abdominis, and it brings your waist in.
And so he's going to plicate all of his muscles. So the stomach muscles are too wide apart. He's going to tighten it all in, tighten the obliques. And so the muscles that were this wide is now going to be this wide by sewing all his muscles together. All right, that sounds interesting. What's going to happen when he starts to do a sit-up? What happens when it tears?
And just in case you were ever going to blow that out, and it kind of resorbs after a little while, you get a polymer sheath installed around your entire, like a corset sheath.
Polymer sheath? I mean, it almost sounds like he's making shit up. I mean, is Mike Israetel trolling the way I tried to troll people and ended up slapping me in the face about Hussein Farhat being a fake natty? Trolled people, shouldn't have wrote the comment, backfired, but hey, you live and learn. But shouldn't Mike live and learn? He's already done the surgery. Why is he getting more? Is he in fact trolling us? Perhaps Mike is more intelligent than I even thought before. He's playing 4D chess with all of us. He isn't going to do any of these surgeries. He just wants other people to react and make videos talking about how loco it really is. I don't speak Spanish!
Installed, and then it constantly keeps your waist to the size that most people of my leanness have, but I don't because I just have the flabby gut situation.
Can't he just get a squeam? Like, he wants to get a plastic sheath, so they're gonna have tie a plastic sheath around his waist after sewing it all together. Now, hear me out. I see all these girls walking around with these squeams, wait a minute, it's called a corset. Or a waist tightener, a squeam though. It's like underwear that sucks in all the fat, makes you all tight and prevents it from all jiggling around. Can't Mike just wear a frigging waist trainer? I mean, I solved it, Mike. Hey, I'm gonna do Mike a solid. Any companies out there sell waist trainers? Can you send one to Dr. Mike? I mean, why do we discriminate against men? Men can wear waist trainers too. I'm all for it. And so, Mike, save yourself $100,000 on surgery and a year of recovery, perhaps die from this, by wearing a squeam and a waist trainer, and you're good. It's it. No one even notice. You put it under your t-shirt and you go to the gym. Problem solved. I mean, does Toads Greg have a 230 IQ? How is it possible that no one else thought of these things? And you know what, Mike? If you don't like your height, you're trying to height max, you can buy inserts for your shoes. I know Wes Watson does this. And so if you want to be taller, buy taller shoes.
The price of procrastination is the life you could have fucking lived. Bitch! Fuck!
What the fuck?
Or stand next to shorter people.
And some of my bodybuilding photos show this off. Genetically, I have a very small waist structurally.
Delusional. Genetically, he doesn't have a small waist. He literally got surgery to make his waist look smaller, and he's still complaining that it's too big. And so, no, genetically don't have a smaller waist. Genetically, you're short. Genetically, you have a large waist. That is, in fact, your downfall, which is why you're trying to make it smaller. If genetically you had a small waist, you wouldn't be talking about trying to make your waist smaller.
Small waists look in a way that I really fucking like.
And so Mike thinks that a small waist looks cool. I agree. No problem. And so he wants his waist to not only be small, but tiny. I think that being 6'2" is awesome. I am not going to get limb lengthening surgery to try to grow to 6 feet tall. I don't have any ambition of being 6'2" because I have normal thought processes. Yeah, being taller is cool, but I'm not going to lose sleep over it. I'm not changing my life. I'm not going to risk medical science to put me back together again, just like Humpty Dumpty. You know, the guy who sat on a wall, had a big fall, and came tumbling after and the whole thing. Or was that Jack and Jill? Whatever.
The idea of fitness and nutrition and talking about aesthetics and how it could benefit health is interesting because you're benefiting health. This is risking your health.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Dr. Mike brings up a great point. You're promoting health. I'm a doctor. I promote health. We're all trying to promote health. This is risking your health. And he's like, oh, yeah. And so Mike knows that this is dangerous. He knows it, yet he still chooses to do it. And so does that fit the definition of crazy? I'm asking you. Because, for example, Mike knows that using and abusing performance-enhancing drugs will take years off of his life. He knows this, but yet he continues to do it. He knows that these surgeries are dangerous, yet chooses to continue to do it. How can somebody so smart, who can reason, we clearly see his abilities, how can he still fall prey despite having tremendous logical reasonings? I'll tell you why. Body dysmorphia. It cancels all. You're very intelligent, you know what's going on, but you just can't break the cycle. How is this different from that word that ends with rexic that starts with an A? You have a severe ED, but yet you can't do anything about it. It's like an illness, a sickness, and you need psychological counseling in order to get over.
No health benefit. Am I right? Like removing your love handles, doing the polymer inside.
The polymer inside, no. The love handle removal, yes.
There's no way he's trying to argue right now that having that liposuction and skin cutting out of his body, that that's somehow improving his health. There's no way he thinks this. Perhaps Mike was given too much copium while recovering from his surgery.
Marginally, and not as net of a benefit as putting on more muscle and losing fat through diet and exercise, for sure. And huge risks.
You know what else is a huge risk? Continuing to use steroids and growth hormone and insulin and going for an IPB Pro card. How is that logical? If you care about your health and you want to be around for as long as humanly possible, how is going for a pro card in your 40s, how is that going to help?
One is through helping other folks. What works for some people doesn't work for other people. Another one is how body image interacts with actual body shape.
And so is Mike doing all this for research purposes, for an experiment? He wants to see how the audience will react to him getting the surgeries. He wants to put his body on the line for medical science to see how is body image affected by one's changes in appearance.
Another one is social perception. It's been fascinating to see how some people react to, because I've been very public about having get the surgery. I'll be super public with all the other ones in the future.
And so is this attention seeking? Hey, I'm going to get this surgery. I'm going to post and talk about it. And many people, perhaps millions, are going to talk about it. And so perhaps he needed to be in the limelight, the center of attention. I'm getting a surgery. Let me explain what happened. And so even if it's negative publicity, hey, it is in fact publicity. Many people would argue it's better to be famous and or infamous than not be known at all. And so is this perhaps a source of his motivation?
And you're doing a lot of things that make you unhealthy. How does that vibe?
One of those is a company in which I help others. And the other thing is just me and what do I do with myself.
And so Mike, I got to give it to him. He's so honest here. Like he's just expressing his feelings. That's why I don't think he's trolling. He's saying, look, Renaissance periodization is about making people healthier. I don't care about being healthier. Clearly, I abuse performance-enhancing drugs. I do steroids. I'm getting various surgeries which will in fact endanger my health. But I don't care because I, as in Dr. Mike, my goal is to have the perfect body, and I don't care about health, despite the fact that my company cares about other people's health. And so do what I preach, not what I do. And so I find this fascinating to see Dr. Mike expressing himself to this extent, explaining he must have body dysmorphia. I mean, the way he describes this, his reasons for doing this, it seems as though he just doesn't feel beautiful enough. And so I think it's sad. I think that social media is causing this, and I don't think it's just Dr. Mike. I think many people in their teens, 20s, and typically it's been more often females, but this shows that it's also happening to men. And despite having millions of dollars, a wife who loves him, he still feels that he isn't good enough. And so he's willing to put his life on the line in the pursuit of beauty. I think it's very sad.
We don't want a teenage mutant ninja turtle, but we want to turn you into Squirtle. Move your tongue into a circle, the right spot is universal. Don't...
And before I go, you can click on Algo RX if you're interested in getting things like enclomiphene, tadalafil like Cialis, Viagra, telmisartan, various peptides and prescription medications, and having your blood work checked to see, are you in fact healthy? And so if you're interested, remember, very, very cheap prices, half of other companies such as Merrick Health. And so if you're interested in getting medications prescribed to you very easily, quickly, and at affordable prices, this is the company for you. Click the link in the description. Also get Momentous apparel. You can click the link, as well as coaching plans by myself and my team. You can apply by clicking the link below. Subscribe, click the bell button, comment to boost the algorithm, like the video if you liked it, watch one of those 2 bloops, and until next time, I am out.